Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Nolte Lightning Talk. I'm Adam Fenton, COO and co-founder of Nolte, and today we're going to be talking about Amp Up Your Productivity, a system that may just change your life. So the first question that may be on your mind is, why be more productive? So some people may say to get more done. Certainly I would have said that before. But now I've realised the answer is freedom. Freedom to pursue what's most important to you. To focus on the things that make a big impact. To be present. To be spontaneous. And just to do nothing. Our minds are not designed to be working and thinking all the time. We need some downtime. And if you're more productive, you'll get things done. That means you're free to be spontaneous, to go for that beer with your friend or whatever it is. And the other is to be more present. So when you're with your family, your friends, you're not thinking about work all the time because work is sorted. You're getting the important things done. And the first point, as it says, is really you're focusing on the things that make the biggest impact. So the first step may sound counterproductive, but it's to stop. Make the time to work on your productivity. Make the time to put a system in place, as well as the time to do all the things that you need to do to survive, to be healthy. So time to sleep, time to eat healthily, to move, to connect, to play, reflect, and unplug. So this next slide talks a little bit about where you should focus your time. This is called the Passion Proficiency Grid, and really your aim is to be up in number 1 in the desire zone. Let's look at number 4 to start with. So the drudgery zone, so these are things that you are not passionate about and you're not good at. These are the ones you should avoid, because at the end of the day you don't enjoy them, and the chances are you're not going to be able to make a difference in these areas. Next is the disinterest zone. So these may be things that you're good at, but you're not passionate about. Moving up from there is the distraction zone. So you have the passion, but not the proficiency. And this can be dangerous, because this is the area where it's very easy to get sucked into doing things that you enjoy doing, but you're not an expert. I'll take one example. For me is finances. So I quite enjoy playing around with spreadsheets and building financial models, working with numbers. But at the end of the day, I'm not an expert in that. It's not my profession, and it could be seen as a distraction because we can't make the progress that we need in that area because it's not my expertise. So really, your aim is to eliminate 2, 3, and 4 and focus on 1. One other area that's not mentioned here is the zone of which maybe sits somewhere in here, or things which you are not yet good at but passionate about. So things you want to learn. So this is where you're in a controlled and conscious way can make progress towards getting something into your desire zone by appropriate training, coaching, or whatever it is you need to get there. So the next thing to think about is your ideal week. And the first part of this are your morning and evening rituals. So one thing that will really help me for certainly to shut down at the end of the day is the shutdown ritual you see down here. So once you do that, you can leave the office feeling that you've done everything you needed to do that day, that you have your loose ends wrapped up, and any tasks that ran over are reallocated to the next day or following day. But this section really, you're looking at what is it you do when you first wake up. So for me, I drink a glass of water, spend 10 minutes on Headspace and 10 minutes catching up on the news. And then I have my my work startup ritual, so I'll be checking my email, Slack, reviewing what I'm doing today, checking my OKRs and other goals that I may be working on, making sure my plan makes sense. I actually have this split in two, which most people probably wouldn't, but it's just because of the way I structure my day. So then my son will get up and we'll get him ready for school and get him off. And then at the end of the workday, like I mentioned, I will be reviewing my emails again, my Slack, and looking, to make sure that everything is planned and loose ends are tied up. One thing to mention is, emails and Slack. Ideally, you don't want to be looking at those like every 5 minutes. It's a distraction and doesn't allow you to focus. So it's recommended to only look at them 2 or 3 times a day, which I understand is difficult, but it's a goal I think we can aspire to. The next part of this is to map it into your week. So I use this spreadsheet to basically map the red areas, which are work time, and the white areas, which are non-work. And you can see my rituals on there. I have basically I move my meetings to all be on Mondays and Fridays. So you see that during the week I have big patches of focus time. And I also left about an hour a day of open time which is free in my calendar for people to book meetings as they need to. You can also see in my case the reason I split my morning ritual in two is because I wake up early, I get a few things done before my son wakes up, and this has empowered me to actually leave a lot earlier, which means I can spend some time with the family before my kids go to bed. So how does this map onto your calendar? So each week I will plan out my time in my calendar. So this looks pretty scary when you look at it to start with, or maybe quite stressful to have a calendar like this. But once you get in the habit of it, I actually found it very soothing and actually the opposite of stressful. So you can see here I have my regular meetings in this kind of lilac colour. These purple areas, which are for deep work, they are time, regular slots I block out in my calendar just to make sure that people can't book over it. Because if you leave a gap in your calendar, then the sure thing is that somebody will book over it. So you need to, if you want to preserve those periods of focus time, you'll need to do something like this. One important thing is to eliminate, so make sure you say no to people, block out your calendar, defer, delegate, and automate are areas we could talk about for a long time, but really, look at your... One thing I would mention when it comes to defer is think about what is not in your, in the zone of things that you want, that you should be focusing on, because maybe there's someone else in your team who for whom that is the case, and you can allocate to them. Another tip that I found super useful is to get rid of all your notifications on your phone and on the computer. You don't really need them. They're just a distraction. So final piece of advice: just do it. This may change your life, and even if it doesn't, you may learn something. So that's it for today. I have one reference at the end of this presentation that I wanted to share. A lot of these ideas came from this book, which I highly recommend. I'll include the link to this presentation below the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them there. Thank you, and see you next time.